Have you ever stopped and wondered how these gigantic AI models actually get built? I can tell you one thing, it's not happening on somebody's laptop. So today we're going to pull back the curtain on Anyscale, a platform that's all about solving one of the biggest headaches in AI, how to go from one computer to thousands without losing your mind in the process. Okay, so let's just start with the big question right up front. Why is this so hard? I mean, really, why can't you just build the next big thing on a super-powered desktop? What's the holdup? And here's the honest-to-goodness answer. Today's AI models are they're enormous. The data sets are massive, the math is unbelievably complex, and no single computer on Earth can handle it alone. It's a team sport, you know? You literally need an army of computers, and they all have to work together in perfect sync without a single one messing up. And that brings us to what the industry calls the AI scaling challenge. And trust me, this isn't just some minor technical issue. It's the massive wall that stops a lot of brilliant ideas from ever seeing the light of day. Yeah, the moment you try to go big, you slam into these huge problems. Like, how do you even chop up a giant job into 1,000 little pieces? How do you manage all those computers, the clusters? And, oh yeah, what happens when one of them just dies in the middle of a calculation? How do you make sure you're not burning through cache on machines that are just sitting there? These are all super hard problems in a field called distributed systems. And most AI developers, brilliant as they are, aren't experts in that. So, what's the solution? Well, instead of getting bogged down in all the technical jargon, let's use a really simple analogy to understand what a company like Anyscale actually does. Think of it as the ultimate AI coordinator. All right, think about it like this. Trying to use a single machine is like trying to build a skyscraper all by yourself. You're gonna hit a wall fast. The other option, the do-it-yourself approach, is like hiring a massive construction crew, but with no foreman, no project manager. It's just you, trying to yell instructions at everyone. It is pure chaos, a total nightmare. But what if there was a better way? What if, instead of running around trying to manage that chaos yourself, you could just hire a brilliant, tireless project manager who takes care of all that coordination for you? And that right there is the big idea. Anyscale is that project manager. You hand it your AI project, and it handles all the messy, complicated stuff. It turns that chaotic mess of computers into a perfectly coordinated, efficient team. Okay, so the project manager analogy is pretty cool, but how does it actually get the job done? Let's pop the hood and see what's really making this whole thing work. The secret sauce here really starts with something called Ray. Ray is this amazing open source framework that gives developers a common language, in Python, to write code that can run across tons of machines. Anyscale is the commercial platform that's built on top of Ray. So if Ray is the language the team speaks, Anyscale is the super smart project manager that oversees the whole operation. And one of its absolute best tricks is something called auto-scaling. So in our analogy, this means your project manager is incredibly smart about money. If a task suddenly needs 500 workers, boom, it hires them instantly. But the second that job is done, it sends them home so you're not paying them to just stand around. This is a huge deal for keeping costs from spiraling out of control. And check this out. This is the real-world impact. This isn't just talk. Look at this chart. Fine-tuning a big model on one single powerful GPU takes 2 full weeks, 14 days. But by using Anyscale to coordinate just 8 of those GPUs, the same job gets done in only 2 days. That is a game-changing speed-up. And you know, the real beauty of it all is how simple it makes the whole process for the actual developer. You just write your code in Python using Ray, you hand the job over to the Anyscale platform, and that's it. It handles everything else. It gets the computers, it hands out the work, it deals with any failures, and it just gives you the results back way faster. This is how you give more people access to supercomputing power. You let the experts focus on the AI, not the plumbing. So this all sounds pretty amazing, right? But is Anyscale for you? I mean, like any powerful tool, it's not the right fit for every single job. So let's get real for a second and figure out when it makes sense to use it. Okay, so Anyscale is going to be your best friend when your project gets too big for one computer. Simple as that. If you're doing huge model training runs, chewing through massive amounts of data, or you're already using the open source Ray framework and you're just tired of the management headache, it's a perfect fit. Basically, if you need speed and you need scale, this is something you should be looking at. So, how does it stack up against other options? Well, as you can see, compared to trying to build it all yourself, it's a whole lot easier. And when you look at other big platforms like Amazon SageMaker, Anyscale's killer feature is that it's Ray native. It was built from the ground up just for Ray, and that means it's the smoothest, most integrated experience for anyone in that world. But let's be totally clear, it can definitely be overkill. If everything you're doing fits just fine on your own machine, you don't need it. If you're building a pretty simple app or you're not using Python and Ray, it's probably not the right tool for the job. You have to remember, this is a specialized platform for a very specific but growing problem. Massive, massive scale. So a tool like Anyscale gives us a really powerful answer to the scaling problems we're facing right now. But it leaves us with one last kind of mind-blowing question to think about. As these AI models keep getting exponentially bigger, and we go from using thousands of computers to maybe millions, what new unforeseen challenges are going to pop up when we try to manage all that at a truly global scale? What comes next?